This is an animal drawings from a patron member. I want to give my suggestions how to improve it from here. How we're going to use the angular measurement and comparative measurement to double check with the proportion. How can we create our focal point? How we can balance the sharp edge and the soft edge. First, take a look at the contour drawing to see is any lines incorrect. First thing, let's take a look at the top over here. And this line needs to be a little bit longer right here and style the curve like that. So you need to move it a little bit out, and also the ear coming down over here, ear be clear. There's no line continue over there. So this is, don't give the illusion the head actually coming over all the way over here. Okay, so stop over here, and anything out here is only the ear. Okay, that's the ear. So you need to be very clear on this, and the outline is a very powerful thing. It's suggesting. And look at over here and the forehead, and I think come out a little bit like this, and then come down. So that's good. Let's take a look at the jaw down here. I think this could be a little bit higher, a little bit. And then look at this line. This line is not like what you did horizontal. Okay, it's coming down a little bit. Take a look at that. Compare with the direction and like this. So this is called angular measurement. It's very important. Okay, the angular measurement is using the angle of line to measure how things connected. So this is good. The nose looks good. Just need a little bit bigger right here. Need a little bit bigger. Come out a little bit like that. And the nostril a little bit lower. So this is a comparative measurement now. So take a look at the size of the nose compared to the whole drawing. Whether or not it's a little bit too small or too big. And the eye can be a little bit bigger over here. A little here, bigger, it make a huge difference. That. So be, and double eyelid over here. There we go. Like that. Now the eye look bigger. That's good. And the mouth looks fine. It's open up a little bit over here. Maybe the top over here need to raise it up a little bit. But those are very easy change if you are spend more time looking at it, compare, and this is pretty easy. The next thing I want to suggest to you, like say over here, I want you to make the neck down here, because the white on the top over here looks very beautiful. So you did a great job on most of the branding. But I want to make this even a little bit darker. So I'm gonna make this just shade it over all this area. We want to separate the body and the neck from the face, because the face is very light. So I want to make this a little bit darker, like that. A little bit darker over here. Okay, this probably a little bit more to the left, like this. And the back over here even darker. So I'm gonna make this even darker, like that. So after you use a blender to blend it, and you can see a huge difference to make their face as a dominant. Okay, over here. See. And the neck over here, okay, a little bit darker. And catch the shadow under the ear over here. This can be a little bit darker. Okay, that's good. So now the face is get a lot more attention. Let's take a look at the nose over here too. We want this area also to be a little bit darker. Like this, the whole nose a little bit darker. And over here too, a little bit darker. Okay, that's good. So we need to make sure that we have something separate separate the one area from the other areas. So if you want to create a little bit light shape, use the eraser. Then need the eraser like this. Yeah, use the eraser. It's very easy to create the illusion of the hair. So sometimes we just intentionally make it darker and then use the eraser to create those fur like that. This is good. But the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is a little bit more higher than this, which is when we separate the dog from the background. We want to make the background to support their attention onto the face of the dog. So what we're going to do, we're going to make the outside a little bit darker. And I'm going to tell you why. Because look at the face of the dog. It was the same color as the outside. But if I'm going to make the outside a little bit darker, just doesn't need to be very, very, very dark, just a little bit darker, it would make the face of the dog that's showing a little bit more exclusive. So if we want to be even smoother, just use the blender, even make it better, like this. And the second thing, we want the white to pop, but the second thing is we also want the darker tone in the ear over here and on the side over here, that we want those to become less standing out, because this is pretty dark before. If we have this against to the white color, and this is would pop the most, more than the top over here. But now we make this a little bit darker. Now the value contrast is get closer together now. So a little bit laying back a little more, and as well as on this side laying back a little more. But have the contrast on the top over here even a little more. Now the white color compared to the outside color now have lots of contrast. Now become the face over here on the top, that become the most dominant thing. Okay, now this is probably lost too much. In that case, we can still create a little bit more contrast over here. So the background is used as a supporting element. However, we see that will fit into our purpose to calling for attention. Now we're going to make this a little bit smoother, and lots of texture, maybe calling out for attention as well. Now we just described still enough evidence to separate between the body of the dog and the background. Or about here, if you need this to be darker, then make it a little bit darker. But I think this is good as it is. So let's take a look at before and after this change. This is before, a little flat. Now they put it back over here. You see, it describes much richer relationship, and the three-dimensional and the volume and the tension, we put it into the place that we want it. Okay, so this is a simple step for you to go by to double check, and then you can make this drawing to be a much better artwork. If you enjoyed this lesson, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If this is your first time here, please subscribe and turn on notification. I will see you in my next lesson.